morning. I'm Nino Napolitano. Over the weekend, over 1,000 people from around the nation protested in favor of Arizona's new illegal immigration law. And those who support the new law have a message they want to share. Meanwhile, the rock duo of Daryl Hall and John Oates are canceling their July 2nd concert at Chase Field due to Arizona's anti-illegal immigration law. The concert was to take place after the Diamondbacks game against the Dodgers. The group's manager says their decision has nothing to do with the management of the Arizona Diamondbacks, but rather their personal stance against the new law. The Cactus League budget has continued to fall with the economy. Officials reported this week that they will not be able to fund projects they have approved in the past. Cities such as Goodyear and Glendale will now have to find more than $40 million each to help pay off their new ballparks. The Arizona Sports and Tourism Authority says the money they are collecting from the hotel and rental car tax is not at the levels they thought it would be. The good news is it appears that none of the 15 teams in the Cactus League are looking to relocate. Genesis High-Speed Rail America hopes to build a high-speed train between Los Angeles and Las Vegas that would connect in Phoenix. The desert lighting would link the three major Southwest metropolitan areas with one high-speed rail line and take passengers from one area to another in less time than driving. The company is still seeking private and government funds to conduct an estimated $35 million study on the project. Let's check in with Twyla Hernandez for weather. Twyla? Can you believe there are some high school students here in the Valley that are spending their summer break taking classes at ASU? It's an interesting program, and for more on the story, we go live to Lily Lou here in the studio. Lily? Celebration Foods, a company that manufactures frozen food products and employs hundreds of people right behind me, is now the latest company under investigation. A hearing is scheduled for 10 a.m. on June 22nd in Hartford. Most of the crews here in Wolcott and around Connecticut and southern New England will be doing just that. We'll be breaking out the shovels, the snow blowers, and the crews will be out and about clearing off these streets that are not quite ready to be traveled upon. They're very treacherous right now, and most malls will be opening later than usual, but they will be open nonetheless. So if you still have to do some Christmas shopping, definitely do your Christmas shopping after you give the plows a little bit of a chance to get out and about 12 noon. You can see it's a little windy here. Thanks, Marcus. That's exactly right. Earlier today in Shelton, Connecticut, a huge 50-car pileup crash occurred in that town, Shelton, Connecticut. 50 cars were reportedly involved in this huge car accident. Now, what may have caused all these cars to crash and tangle and mangle with one another is the fact that there was some very bad weather. You may be able to hear, if I quiet down for just a second, that it is raining slightly here outside of our news bureau here where I'm reporting from in Wolcott, Connecticut. As you can see, there is snow on the ground. Quite a few inches did fall last night. Right now, you probably can't see any precipitation falling from the sky. If you can, it's very little precipitation. What has occurred over the last several hours this morning is the precipitation snow originally has begun turning over into a sleet mix.
Joining us today is Dr. Gail Gilmore, the new Assistant Superintendent of the Wolcott Public Schools. Dr. Gilmore brings 21 years of administrative experience with her from the Bristol Public Schools. Dr. Gilmore, thank you very much for being here with us today.
Thank you, Nino, and thank you, John. It's quite a pleasure to be here.
Doctor, as the Assistant Superintendent of the Wolcott School District, what are some of the tasks that you will be overseeing? And if you can, walk us through what would be a typical day in your shoes.
My typical day is going to be a very supportive and an advocate for everyone in the district.
Now, how will your past experience as a principal and assistant principal, respectively, influence the decisions you make in the district?
That's an excellent question. I have had wonderful experiences being an elementary principal as well as an assistant principal, and that has shaped the person that I am today.
Now, some people at home might be wondering, Doctor, what kind of qualities and traits do you need for occupations such as yours? What would you tell them?
I would tell them you have to be passionate about students and teaching and learning. It's really important to connect with others, partnership, have an open door policy with excellent communication.
Okay, our very new Assistant Superintendent of the Wolcott Public Schools, Dr. Gail Gilmore, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you, Nino.
I'm 24 News Now's Nino Napolitano acoutside of Frisbee School, just not too far down from where the Wolcott Police Department is. Earlier today, shortly after 12 noon, the new Chief O'Leary of the Wolcott Police Department was sworn in.
I'm sincerely honored to present to you our new acting police chief for the town of Wolcott, Chief Neil O'Leary.